I want to look back and be like, thank you to my past self. Like, you did a good job preparing for this moment, and now we get to live a stress-free life, a stress-free retired life while being old. Like, hey. Hi my beautiful people, welcome back to my channel, Life with Candra, and today I want to dive straight into the subject at hand, which is what accounts should you have in your 20 to 30 somethings. First on the list is your checking account. So this account is your operational account. It's the hub of your income and expenses. It's also your day-to-day account. So any expenses that come up such as gas, groceries, your other bills, this is the account that you would use when you swipe that card. Most of us have that account. So that is obviously the main one and the easiest one. Next would be the complimentary savings account that come with that checkings account. This savings account, personally, I think having about $1,000 in that account is best. And the reason I say that is because we want our money to work for us. And in a regular savings account, the interest rate, the APY, is only 0.01%. Depending on how much money you have, of course, sitting in that account, you're only gaining about 3 cents every quarter, when you could have it in another account making money for you. So this account is the account for minor emergencies. Unexpectedly, you had an errand where you had to go across town and it used up most of your gas. So I would suggest that you take the $20 or $30 from that account to help you with gas until your next paycheck. When you get your next paycheck, you will repay your savings account and budget accordingly. This brings me to my next point, a high yield savings account. A high yield savings account is a savings account that has a high APY, and an APY is the annual percentage yield. So I know there are several banks out there that have 4 to 5.5% APY, where you gain interest on the money that you have sitting in that account. And this is called compounding. So I want us to remember that. One, we want our money to work for us, and it works for us by compounding. So if you follow me on TikTok at The Real Candra, you would know that I made a video talking about my experience and how much I made in the past year with my 2 high yield savings accounts. So I made $750 or a little over $750 last year just for having my money sit in that account. So I would suggest you guys, if you do not have a high yield savings account, open one today. Most of them do not have a minimum deposit requirement. So I would suggest open that account, and when you get paid, transfer some money into there so that you can start this year, because it's still January, you can start this year with a high yield savings account and see how much you have earned by the end of this year. Talking about a high yield savings account, this brings me to my next point, which is an emergency fund. Personally, one of my high yield savings accounts is my emergency fund. And the reason I have that high yield savings as an emergency fund is because I do not have direct access to it. I cannot walk into the bank and pull out money or go on my phone and transfer the money that I saved directly to my operating account, which is my check-ins, to use it. Emergency fund is basically a savings account where you store 3 to 6 months of your living expenses. You don't touch that. You don't touch that for minor inconveniences. You don't touch that for minor emergencies. You don't touch that for gas. You don't buy clothes with this emergency funds. This fund is for, let's say you lost your job, and now the next 2 months, you still need to pay rent. You still need to pay your car insurance. You still need to keep the lights on. You still need water. You still need gas. You still need food. All of these expenses that we don't realize, that if our paycheck was gone today, what would happen? What would happen? So you want to be financially prepared for if certain things like that happen. Of course, it'll also depend on your lifestyle. That is why we cannot say a specific number, but rather 3 to 6 months of living expenses. Now this one is the one you really have to be careful of. A credit card. A credit card can be both good and bad. When used responsibly, a credit card can be a powerful tool. You can build your credit, you get free flights, you get exclusive perks to things that other people do not have perks to. I also want you to remember that your credit card should be a reflection of your budget. So if you use it for gas and you budget $60 for gas, then there's no reason why there should be $75 on a credit card for gas, because you didn't budget for that. If you don't got it, don't swipe it. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. And I'm speaking to myself also when I say this. I don't want you guys to feel like I'm a financial guru in terms of telling you what to do, but more so this is something that I've learned along the way, and I'm still trying to be disciplined about applying to my financial life. I know at our age, it may seem like retirement is so far away, but honestly, y'all, time is flying. If you have not realized, time is flying. Before you know it, I'm gonna be 30. Like, whoa. Wait a minute. I'm gonna be 30, and I want to be financially prepared for my future self. You know, I don't want to look back and be like, why didn't you do this, bro? Like, the information was right in front of you. Why you didn't do this? You know, I want to look back and be like, thank you to my past self. Like, you did a good job preparing for this moment, you know, and now we get to live a stress-free life, a stress-free retired life while being old. Like, hey. So I want you to think of a 401k or a Roth IRA as your future self's savings. This is for when you get older, and you don't want to do yourself a disservice by not preparing for that moment. So the next account I would say would be a 401k or a Roth IRA. A 401k is offered by employers, and most of the time they do offer a match. And let me say this. If you have a 401k right now and you are contributing less than the company's match, come here. Come here. Come here. Y'all, be so for real. At minimum, your contribution should be the same as the company's match. Why? Because that's free money you leaving on the table. That's free money you leaving. Now, we barely get free money, okay? Uncle Sam don't like when we get free money. So when you do get the chance, when you do get the opportunity to get free money, take it. Take it by all means, okay? So let's say your company's match is 3%. Your contribution should be 3% or higher. Of course, they always recommend higher, but sometimes people are not in the financial place to contribute higher due to their expenses, and that's okay. But I would say at least do the company's match. A Roth IRA is kind of different. Now, anyone who's 18 and above can open a Roth IRA account, and I would suggest that to anyone who is 18 plus and do not have one yet. Roth IRA is an individual retirement account that you fund. You fund and you invest. So when you transfer money into the account, don't think that it's going to be automatically invested by advisors with the platform that you're using. So if you're using Fidelity, Schwab, or Vanguard, just know there's not anybody behind the scenes that's going to invest for you. You have to do that. A Roth IRA is an option for those who are either self-employed or their company does not offer a 401k. You still have the opportunity to save for retirement, but it would be you doing it yourself. Last but not least, your own investing account. So the reason I put this in is because I feel, as I told you guys before, I believe in making your money work for you. I'm a long-term investor. I do not do day trading, and I wish I had the time to study and learn how to do it. I personally feel like this account is to help you understand how to make your money work for you. I want y'all to remember, small steps turn into big victories. So although you feel like, oh, contributing $20 to your savings account or your investing account or retirement account isn't that much, compounding is what makes it better. Starting now is the best thing that you can do because it gives the money ample time to work for you. I want you guys to remember that. Make your money work for you and compounding. Those two things. Yeah. And that is a wrap. These are the essential financial accounts that I believe that you should have in your 20 to 30 somethings. Just keep in mind that the key is to find a balance that works for you. Just like a budget. A budget isn't the same for every person, but you can incorporate certain techniques, certain patterns, certain systems that can help you on your journey. So I want you to find your balance and how to apply this in your life. If you found this video helpful, big thumbs up. And I would love if you guys subscribe to hear more finance tips for your 20s. Thank you so much for joining me today. See you in the next one. Duh.